regrets for the Mavs rebuilding plan. He says, let's talk epic. He goes, quote, would I do it the same way again? In a heartbeat. Why? Because in the NBA, like in the non-sports business world, you have to take chances in order to be rewarded. You have to be smart, and you have to be more than a little lucky. So he believes that the Mavericks can do whatever it takes to hopefully get back to being a title contender. Dallas, of course, won the NBA Finals in 2011 against, that's right, Browning, your Miami Heat. In the NBA, of course, next month begins the training camp already as more of the moves continue. And in the, how about this? In the NBA, here's another thing. Greg Oden. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Greg Oden has made a decision. You know where he's going, everybody? Down to South Beach. He will be playing with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh for the upcoming 2013-2014 season, as Miami is trying to do something that no team has ever done since the 98 through 2000 LA Lakers, and that is to go for a three-peat. And let's
Won't
see,
happen.
other new... Huh?
Won't happen.
In other news in the Major League Baseball, is that, as you all know, the biggest story coming in, Alex Rodriguez, along with other players, are going to be suspended for their role in the biogenesis scandal. Rodriguez is going to be serving the biggest penalty of all. He will be serving a 214-game suspension. It will start on Thursday, August 8th. Alex Rodriguez was a player who was drafted by the Seattle Mariners. He started playing there all the way until the 2001 season. He then went on and became a Texas Ranger. In 2003, a deal fell through where he wanted to go to Boston, but that thing fell through. Then in February of 2004, he found a new home to play for. That would be with the New York Yankees. 3 years later, on this update, in 2007, before Game 4 between Boston and Colorado of the 2007 World Series, Alex Rodriguez had made an announcement, as agent did, that he was going to opt out of his contract and find another team to go to. Rodriguez denied the whole thing, and apparently Scott Boras was fired as his agent. And then Alex Rodriguez signed a gigantic 10-year, $275 million deal. We moved to 2009, a little bit of a stat here. Apparently, Alex Rodriguez made another announcement saying, I took performance-enhancing drugs with the Texas Rangers. And then his relationship with the Yankees has started to deteriorate. And then, the suspension comes today on what has become a black day for Alex Rodriguez. And just a little bit of what Joe Girardi said in his press conference today, a black day for kind of the New York Yankee organization. He is in the starting lineup tonight against the Chicago White Sox. Speaking of which, we start with Major League Baseball scores. The St. Louis Cardinals, they lead 1-0 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers have won 14 straight road games, and they have been the hottest team in the National League right now. We have two other games going on. The Washington Nationals lead 1-0 against the Atlanta Braves. And the other game, the Milwaukee Brewers are at the San Francisco Giants. We switch on over to the American League. The Detroit Tigers, the Cleveland Indians, that score is 0-0. And by the way, that's a big one because Detroit is leading in the American League Central over Cleveland. And Terry Francona has really got the Indians playing some good baseball, just like Jim Leyland's team is. And yes, tonight, the New York Yankees at the Chicago White Sox. Everybody watching, Alex Rodriguez will be batting fourth tonight. The Minnesota Twins at the Kansas City Royals. The Royals have played pretty good ball of late, trying to stay in that American League Central, but they will need an absolute miracle if they want to win the American League Central. The Boston Red Sox, who are now the best team in baseball, they are at the Houston Astros. The other game, it'll be the Texas Rangers at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And the final game tonight, it'll be the Toronto Blue Jays at the Seattle Mariners. For your Sports World Radio update, I'm Sean Mann. Now back to Jeff Eskow, host of Sports World Radio.
That update was brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your hunting equipment, camping gear, fishing gear, and hiking gear, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. All right, welcome back to the show. They just said on ESPN that the Yankee game, Chicago Yankee game, will start at the top of the hour, and ESPN will bring you his first at-bat.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not going anywhere. I guess I'm stuck watching the Dodgers in St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis, I need you to win.
And here are some of the quotes coming in from Twitter. Evan Longoria said today, he goes, "Today is a sad day for Major League Baseball, the fans of this great game, and all players who may have been negatively affected by others' selfishness." Here's another one that he said on Twitter. "Ultimately, although today will be a day for MLB, it is a tremendous step in the right direction for the game we love." Was coming from Evan Longoria on Twitter, as a lot of other fans of the game, and of course probably popular celebrities and baseball players, viewing their opinions on Facebook and Twitter today, as this nonstop story just continues to go all over the world. And Jeff, do you think Bud Selig has done enough to handle the steroids crisis, or has he done it worse?
I don't know. I think he's done an okay job. He's trying to get it out of the game, but it's just, I think he's taken too long to do it, as far as I'm concerned, and he's not doing it the correct way, as far as I'm concerned.
I have disagreed with Bud Selig ever since he has become commissioner of MLB.
Yeah,
he's done a terrible job. I don't like the All-Star. I've never liked his All-Star rule, the expansion of playoffs, and now this.
No. Put everything else aside. Put everything else aside and just look at this. Just look at this with the steroids and the PED use. Don't look at the All-Star game this and the wild cards that. Don't include all that. Just look at this. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think he's done a good job with just this part of it?
That's a good question. My opinion, this today was the toughest decision Bud Selig had to make for Major League Baseball. But I think he's done, like as you said, I'll agree with you. I think he has done an okay job. I think there's still a lot more that needs to be handled, because think about this too. Okay, Rodriguez plays tonight. He's going to get booed. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Barry Bonds was batting a lot too. He got booed everywhere they go. They put up signs. They treated him horribly everywhere he went. From now on, when he comes back from his 214-game suspension, you are going to see the same thing if he decides to play. That's if he wants to.
What about at Yankee Stadium?
Same thing. I'm going to say Yankee fans are going to boo him. They booed him, in the playoffs when he wasn't clutch, and they're going to boo him even harder if he is a Yankee.
Now let me ask you this question. Bottom of the ninth, 2-man on, 3-2 count. He bangs a home run. Game is over. Yankees win. The fans aren't going to go crazy?
They'll probably go crazy. It'll probably be half and half, though. I don't know.
The fans are going to go ballistic, and you know it. He hits a home run to put them into the playoffs. You don't think the fans are going to go bananas?
It's hard to say.
No, it's not hard to say. It's really easy to say. They're going to go bananas.
That is true.
He gets on a hot streak and goes crazy and gets really hot, bangs the home runs, a great hour average, playing great defense, whatever, having a really good 50 games, whatever he's doing, okay? Mm-hmm. And he gets them into the playoffs in a wild card. People are going to say one thing, oh, man, he must still be on the PEDs.
Yeah.
But if he does it, holy cannoli, come on. A.Rod's in a no-win situation, because if he plays really, really well, everybody's going to say, I wonder if he's still on the PEDs. If he plays really, really bad, everybody's going to say, look, he's getting old, and look, he's not on the PEDs no more. Look, this is how he really plays. That's it. So he's going to lose either way.
Yeah.
Right?
But he is not. If MLB puts him in the Hall of Fame, though, that will be an absolute joke. Who cares if he actually has won one ring? Again, he took steroids. He's damaged his career. He's a big part of why he destroyed the game.
I would rather see Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame before him.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Even though people got on Pete Rose for betting on the game. Like even Jeff, we had this discussion last week. You asked me, what is worse, PEDs or gambling? I said performance-enhancing drugs is the top #1 worst thing for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I think so too. Who has committed a worse crime, Pete Rose or Barry Bonds, Clemens, Pettit, Rodriguez, McGuire, Sosa? You tell me. Palmeiro, don't forget about him.
Everybody on that list except Pete Rose.
And Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame. So if Pete Rose don't go in the Hall of Fame, you can't put any of those guys in either. You can't put McGuire in. You can't put Sosa in. You can't put Steroid Boy in. You can't put Rodriguez in when he finally goes. You can't put, none of those guys in. Palmeiro can't go in. Clemens can't go in. Pettit can't go in. You can't, none of those guys. Okay, you put any one of those guys in, you got to put Pete Rose in. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Right, Sean? You agree with me on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. And, yeah, I'm just glad because you know what, Jeff, my opinion is you are going to ask me, probably going to say, Sean, is Alex Rodriguez a Hall of Famer? Well, I'm glad I gave you my answer. No,
not now. He's not. I'm sitting here watching this freaking Dodger St. Louis game. Okay? And I want St. Louis to win because they're catching Pittsburgh. Right? But Greg Zanke is on the mound for the Dodgers, and I have Zanke on my fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of torn with this game here. That's why I wish I couldn't watch. I watched a different one, but there's no other game on. You know what's on ESPN2 right now?
What?
Little League Baseball.
Yeah, that's right. The Little League series. Here's another thing he says. He goes, quote, I am thrilled and humbled to have the opportunity to put on this uniform again and to play Major League Baseball again. He continued, I feel like I was 18 years old back in Fenway Park in 1994. Of course, it's been 20 years. Very excited to get out there to play. You might be excited, and even Yankee players probably are excited, but I know deep down the Yankee players are not. They're just saying that because they don't want to embarrass themselves in front of the media. You know darn well that they're not excited about him being in there. And even again, if you watch what a lot of the reporters were saying on ESPN, they were saying that they were just shocked by his whole news conference, and they would say that the whole Yankee team should be feeling like, gosh, I don't want to be around this guy's cancer distraction.
How many Yankee fans are gonna watch that game tonight? Okay, and when he first makes his first appearance at Yankee Stadium, you think they're gonna boo him? I don't think so. I think they're gonna clap him.
Oh boy, the New York radio stations. I'm pretty sure ESPN New York, they're just blasting the stories.
Yeah, there's no
people
way,
calling in.
Dr. Myth, there's no way A.Rod will ever get into the Hall of Fame because of what he's done. No way. And if he does, then they gotta let in Pete Rose.
And it comes, at a time when times have just been so rough for the Yankees this year. This is a team that pretty much is out of the pennant race. The only way it would have to be is if, Boston, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore fold. But they're just a team that's been hit with so many injuries, and then of course dealing with this whole.
Hey Sean, they're only 4.5 games out of the wild card.
4.5, but they're still not playing like the Yankee team that everybody expected.
Who cares? They're only 4.5 out of the wild card. Who cares about how they're supposed to be expected to play?
But their chances, even if they were to come back, I know they're 4.5, and there's still a lot of baseball.
They're 4.5 games out. What happens if A.Rod plays so good he wipes out the 4.5 games, and boom, they're in the freaking wild card?
I don't see them getting very far because they can't beat Detroit, they can't beat Texas, they can't beat Boston, they cannot even beat Tampa Bay. I would say if you're the Yankees, you better just finishing up strong. I know there's 52 games left, but their chances still do not look good. They played really horrible down in San Diego over the weekend.
Yeah, I know, but San Diego beat them 2 out of 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I was watching that crap.
The league should take the ring off him for what
They
he has
can't.
done. I agree.
They
He does
can't.
not deserve that